Come to a comfortable seat, cross-legged, move any fleshy parts away from your bum, and sit up nice and tall. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll here, up and back, once or twice. Your hands can be on your thighs, face up or face down, or maybe even on your lap, whichever feels more intuitive. And give your neck a little bit of a stretch here, maybe a couple of rolls, pain-free range of movement. And then settle, shoulders back, spine tall, and breathe. Wherever you are in your day, maybe it's the morning, maybe it's in the evening, just take this time to let anything go that's happened up until now. And let anything go that you plan on doing after this short little sequence. And for the next 10 minutes or so, allow yourself to be fully present, fully aware of your breath and your physical sensations. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. Every inhale is a chance to lengthen and grow tall. And every exhale is a chance to plant some roots and dig a little deeper, feel a little bit more grounded. A few more breaths here. One more inhale. And one more exhale. And from here, we'll transition into tabletop. Take your time, there's no rush. This is your practice, this is your time. And once you feel stacked in table, curl your toes under behind you. And then start to walk your hands towards your knees and bring your hips right up against your heels. So sit back. Gently, hands still on the mat. You can reach back one hand at a time and pull your pinky toe out. Make sure it's connected to your mat. You can keep your hands on your mat for support to distribute some of the weight this whole time. Or maybe you can explore walking your hands up to your thighs and sitting up tall. This is a great stretch for our soles of our feet, our plantar fascia, our Achilles tendon, an often neglected part of our body in yoga, but super, super important. Just a couple more breaths. And slowly release yourself out of this pose and bring yourself back into tabletop. Again, no rush. Point your toes and bring your feet together and bring your knees together. And sit back once again onto your heels. This time, we stretch the front of the ankles. You can keep your hands on your thighs face down to encourage some grounding. Or if you'd like to take the stretch deeper, you can walk your hands behind you. Lean back, squeeze your thighs, and lift your knees up. Couple deep breaths here. And from here, I'll come back to table, gently release your knees down if they were lifted. And then keep your big toes together, take your knees wider than your hips, and sit back, hips against your heels, and bring two fists stacked on top of one another underneath your forehead. Just going for length here in your child's pose, length in our spine all the way through your neck and to the crown of your head. You can even roll your forehead side to side here on your fists and massage out the space right between your eyebrows. And if you like, you can extend your arms out and come a little deeper into child's pose. If you find your spine is rounded quite a bit, or your hips are tighter than usual, or just feeling quite achy today, bring your hands back underneath your forehead. You can build the floor up to you. to help alleviate some of the stress. And then find your breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale and exhale. Resist any temptations to fidget. Just a couple more breaths. After your next exhale, walk your hands towards you and lift your torso up and sit up onto your heels. You can take your hands straight behind you like we did earlier. Just lift your hips, tuck your belly, and lower your hips back down. And then press your hands down, fingertips face forward, lift your chest and look up. Try to keep your neck in line with your spine. Try not to compress the back of your neck. And find your toes here, press your toenails down to lift your hips up and get a deeper stretch across your hip flexors and your quads. Navel draws in, chest lifts, deep breaths. And keep your navel pulled in as you slowly lower your hips back down to your heels. Walk your hands to your thighs, sit up tall, bring your knees together. Send your hips off to one side and extend your legs out in front of you. Scooch forward on your mat if you need to. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open up like a book. Draw your knees in towards your inner thighs. Interlace your fingers over your toes. Forearms or elbows can press down into your inner thighs. And then breathe here. Spine is tall, shoulders are back. In your heels, there's a little bit of tension there as they press into each other to encourage your knees to open towards the side walls. Couple more breaths here. Last breath out. Release your toes. Draw your knees back together. And come down onto your back. Our final shape will be constructive rest pose. Your feet, step them wider than your hips. Just a little bit. Still flat. Your knees will knock against one another. Then rest. You can roll your shoulders underneath your chest. Lift your hips up and lower them back down just to settle your low spine. And draw your chin down towards your chest slightly so the back of your neck can be long. Palms are face up towards the sky. This is a surprisingly beneficial release for your psoas and for your spine. A great way to give your legs a little extra rest. Feel free to stay here for as long as you can. 5 to 10 minutes a day can be extremely beneficial. Thank you for choosing to practice today. Namaste.